Seatbelts, everyone! Please let this be a normal field trip. With a friend? No way!
Cruising on down Main Street, you're relaxed and feeling good. Next thing that you know, you'll see an octopus in the neighborhood, surfing on the sound wave, swinging through the stars. Take a left at Human Testing, take your second right past Mars on the magic scuba. Alligator nostril, climb on the magic scuba. Make a plankton too. On our magic scuba, drop the river of lava on magic scuba. Such a fine thing to do. So strap your bones right to the seat. Come on in and don't be shy. Just to make your day complete. You might get baked into a pie on the magic scuba. Step inside, it's a wilder ride. Come on, ride on the magic scuba.
Type in your name and click the Go button when you're ready to play. Click on a name or type in a new one. Then click on the Go button when you're ready to play. If you want to erase a name from the list, click on it and then click on the trash can. Then away we go!
I brought snack money for our field trip to the Wild Animal Park. Sheesh, hard to believe that Frizz is finally taking us on a normal field trip.
The way I see it, that remains to be seen.
These are my pet goldfish, fastball, shortstop, and slugger. My mom says I sleep like an elephant seal because I'm such a deep sleeper. She could practically sit on me and I won't wake up.
When it's garbage night and the trash goes out, I have an alarm clock that wakes me up in the middle of the night. It's a raccoon who thinks our garbage is its gourmet meal. I can't wait to go to the Wild Animal Park. I want to ride an elephant.
Wow, that lion's teeth look awfully big. It's a good thing too, since he's a carnivore and needs strong, sharp teeth to eat meat. Check out that water snake. If he's really still, he looks like part of the plant. That's called camouflage, and it helps him hide from both his predators and his prey. I did my report on crows, one of the noisiest birds in my neighborhood. Next to the blue jay, that is, who is the crow's cousin. All that cawing must run in the family. Scorpions are really awesome. Look at how they glow when you shine the right kind of light on them. Okay, guys, which one of these is the biggest mammal in the world? A blue whale or an Asian elephant?
The elephant?
Nope, the blue whale. In fact, the biggest one ever found was 110 feet long, big enough so 8 elephants could line up on its back. Last night, this crow I named Picasso came around with his buddies. Boy, were they making a racket. I went outside and there they were, chasing away a hawk. Picasso is an awesome crow. You should see him bob his head when a girl crow comes around. I think it's his way of asking her out on a date.
Is it just me, or does anybody else think it's gross that Indian rhinos roll in the mud so they don't get sunburned?
If you ask me, Ralphie, I think the smell of mud beats the smell of some of those sunscreens.
Fastball, shortstop, and slugger make good pets. They don't wake me up to let them out in the morning, and the best thing is, they don't poop on the floor.
Raccoons can live almost anywhere. If they live in the woods by a stream, they eat fish and frogs. If they live in the city, they eat pepperoni pizza. Now that's what I call adaptable. Some people ride bucking broncos, but me? I'd like to try riding a rhinoceros. Even though they weigh over 3,000 pounds, they can go 30 miles an hour. Yeehaw!
All right, which one of these guys can jump 13 feet in the air? A flea or a kangaroo?
It's gotta be a kangaroo.
Guess again, Wanda. Okay, in a race between these two guys, who would win? An Olympic runner or a dragonfly?
An Olympic runner, for sure.
No, a dragonfly can actually fly 30 miles an hour.
Wow, maybe we need one of those on the Olympic team.
Okay, which one is heavier? An Indian rhinoceros or a car?
According to my research, it's a rhinoceros.
And according to my research, I think I'd rather ride in a car than in a rhino.
According to my research, Miss Frizzle has never taken us on an ordinary field trip. And according to my prediction of the future, she never will. My report is on domestic horses, which means horses that are tame. According to my research, horses are ungulates, which means they have hooves instead of toes. Lots of animals are ungulates. Rhinos, cows, deer, and camels also have hooves, which means they're related to horses. Did you know that in Australia, desert kangaroos keep cool by drenching their bodies in their own saliva?
Or you could say they get cool in a pool of their own drool.
Before raccoons eat their food, sometimes they dip it in water. How do I know that? In the morning, our dog's water bowl is full of muddy gunk, and there are raccoon tracks leading away from it.
Even though fish are pretty easy to take care of, you still have to clean out their bowl and make sure to feed them the right amount of food. Something I can relate to.
Crows have brains, but you wouldn't call them bird brains. They're so smart, they use their feet to pull up fishing lines to steal the fish on the hook.
Amphibians and Reptiles by Ralphie. Click on a picture if you want to find out about slimy and scaly creatures. What's the difference between an amphibian and a reptile? Amphibians, like this frog, have slimy bodies and lay their eggs in the water. Frogs and salamanders need to stay wet because some of them actually breathe through their moist skin. Reptiles, like this lizard, don't need to stay wet. They have scaly skin covering their bodies, and the scales help to keep them from drying out. Reptiles, like turtles and lizards, lay their eggs on the land. So do snakes. But some snakes and even some kinds of lizards don't lay eggs at all. Their babies come right out of their mother's bodies, just like mammals. Cold-blooded animals. Animals who need the sun to warm up their bodies are called cold-blooded. It doesn't mean these cold-blooded iguanas are cold, just that their bodies are the same temperatures as the air around them. For most amphibians and reptiles, like this crocodile, who's cooling off in the water with its egg, that works just fine. But maybe not for this little lizard whose feet are burning up on the sand. He's out of here. Slimy and scaly babies. This mother frog's tadpoles were born underwater. In fact, most amphibians, like frogs and salamanders, lay their eggs underwater so that their eggs don't dry out. But once they're grown, you can find amphibians anywhere, even gliding from trees, like this flying frog. Reptiles, on the other hand, like iguanas, skinks, and turtles, lay their eggs up on the land. When the babies hatch, their scaly skin keeps them moist, even in the desert.
That's a longhorned beetle. There are lots of varieties of these guys, but one thing they all have in common is a huge appetite for wood when they're young.
Maybe Miss Frizzle forgot about our trip to the wild animal park.
Yeah, if we're extremely lucky. I've always worried about toads. Is it really true if I touch one, I'll get warts?
No way, Arnold. But you might get warthogs.
Carlos. I was thinking about directing a movie about the life of a queen termite, but it's gonna have to be a really long movie because they can live for 50 years. I've never met an animal I didn't like. Except for the time the bus shrank and we got eaten by that tuna fish.
You and me both. I don't even like looking at a tuna fish sandwich anymore. Okay, what pet is always found on the floor?
I don't know. What?
A carpet. Okay, what pet is always found on the floor?
I don't know. What?
A carpet.
Here's my clipboard. Now, where is that net? There it is.
We need a net at the wild animal park?
Change of plans, Arnold. I got a call this morning from my friend who runs the park, Ms. Annie Malia. There's been a mix-up. 4 animals from the park were put back into the wild, but they were sent to the wrong habitats.
That sounds dangerous. Someone should catch those animals and put them back in the right places.
Excellent idea, Keisha. Class, it's time to take a field trip to the animal habitats across the world. Just click on the bus and we'll get going.
I knew I should have stayed home today.
I did my report on my kitten, Mittens. She is a domestic cat, which means she's tame and she's a pet. But she's related to wild cats all over the world. I've never met an animal I didn't like, except for the time the bus shrank and we got eaten by that tuna fish.
You and me both. I don't even like looking at a tuna fish sandwich anymore.
I was thinking about directing a movie about the life of a queen termite, but it's gonna have to be a really long movie because they can live for 50 years. Why have just one pet when you can have a whole farm? These are my ants, and they are amazing to watch.
Once we've headed out into the wilds and you think you spot an animal in the wrong habitat, use this net to capture it so we can send it back to its proper home. Liz is modeling a fashionable set of X-ray glasses. When you're out exploring the habitat, those glasses are the perfect thing for examining some of the animal's skeletons.
My report is on Zoomer, my dog. There are several hundred breeds of dogs in the world, but there's only one Zoomer.
Welcome to the Bone Zone. Call me Bones, Sherlock Bones. I see you've discovered a pile of bones. We've got to figure out who they belong to, or belonged to, I should say. You need to finish putting this animal's skeleton together. So, have at it. Bon voyage. Welcome to the Bone Zone. Call me Bone. Elementary indeed. Fine detective work. Case closed. Elementary indeed. Fine detective work. Case.
My report is on Zoomer, my dog. There are several hundred breeds of dogs in the world, but there's only one zoomer.
Life can be pretty hard for an animal when it's not in its right habitat.
That's why we need to find those misplaced animals from the wild animal park and put them in the right places.
Correctamundo, Keisha.
Now there's a cat who's really got her paws full. Can you tell how many kittens she has?
We're going to have to venture forth to wild places where no class has ventured before if we're going to help those animals.
That's exactly what I was afraid of.
This is a report on fish by me, Keisha. Want to dive in? Just click on a picture. Something's fishy. Everyone knows that fish live in water, but what exactly is a fish? All fish have backbones, they breathe through gills, they're cold-blooded, and they have fins that help them swim. Some fish live only in salty water, and some only in fresh water, but not the salmon. When it's young, the salmon swims out to the ocean. Then when it grows into an adult fish, it swims back to the freshwater river where it was born and lays its eggs. The coral reef. Life under the coral reef sometimes looks like you're swimming through a rainbow of colors. It's also a safe place for fish to live, far away from the big, hungry open water fish like sharks and tuna. Saddleback butterfly fish like these eat the coral polyps that grow on the reefs. When saddleback butterfly fish travel together, it's hard to tell when one fish ends and the next fish begins. This long yellow trumpet fish follows the angelfish wherever it goes, and not because they're friends. When angelfish eat coral, it forces the small sea creatures who live in the coral to leave. When these sea creatures scurry out from the coral, the trumpet fish swoops down and grabs them. Amazing but true fish tales. Under the sea, there are fish and other creatures that are stranger than even I can imagine. Like these sea dragons who look just like the seaweed around them, making it hard for their enemies to find them. Clownfish, like this one, protect themselves by living inside stinging anemones. But for some reason, they never get stung. Father seahorses, not the mothers, carry their babies in a pouch. Sounds like a fun way to travel to me. The report I did is on endangered animals. If you want to find out about these animals, click on a picture. Why animals are endangered. Many animals around the world, like this panda, are endangered. That means that they are in danger of going extinct, disappearing forever, like the dinosaurs. So why do animals like these manatees become endangered? The main reason is the loss of their habitat. Animal habitats are sometimes destroyed so houses and shopping centers can be built, or the forests they live in are cut down for wood. Famous endangered animals. There are some pretty famous animals that have been endangered, like this bald eagle. Animals that are still endangered include snow leopards, elephants, and humpback whales. The loss of habitat affects lots of other animals too, like the wolf, the Siberian tiger, and the mountain gorillas. It's sad to think that someday the only way we may get to see these creatures is in picture books. Help save the animals. Today, people realize that endangered animals need our help. Habitats are being saved, so rare animals, like this white rhino, can survive. There are also laws to protect them from being hunted. The United States national bird, the bald eagle, became endangered when DDT, a pesticide used on plants, worked its way into the eagle's food. DDT didn't kill the eagles directly, but it made their eggs break. When scientists figured this out, DDT was banned in the United States. Now that the eagles' eggs are no longer breaking, more and more eagles are being born every day and are growing into strong young birds. If we all keep trying, maybe some of the other animals who are endangered will make a comeback, just like the bald eagle.
My report is on invertebrates. If you want to find out about animals without backbones, click on a picture. No bones about it. This is an orb weaver spider, and this is a ghost crab. What do these two animals have in common? They're both invertebrates, which means they don't have backbones. Invertebrates, like this sea slug, have no bones at all. Invertebrates call many places home, like the starfish who lives in the ocean, or the scorpion with her babies on her back who lives on land. Some invertebrates live both places, like this red hermit crab. Right now it looks like he just moved into this cozy glass jar. And who said you couldn't live in a glass house? Slimy sea creatures. Some of the coolest and tastiest invertebrates live in the sea. Clams, crabs, and shrimp have shells to protect their slimy bodies. But some soft, slimy sea creatures protect themselves by having bright colors and tasting really bad. Their colors advertise, "Don't eat me." Sea slugs are as beautiful as butterflies and really squishy. They eat prickly sponges and stinging anemones. Spiders. Spiders, like this hairy tarantula, have fangs and 8 legs. These invertebrates spin sticky webs with their silk. All spiders are carnivores. Some hunt down their prey by jumping on them on the ground. And some, like this one, wait in their web and bam, moth dinner. Or she can wrap it up with her silk and save it for a midnight snack.
Class, keep your eagle eyes open so you can be effective detectives. Bring the clipboard, Liz. We'll need it to check the identities of the misplaced animals. Let's take chances, make mistakes, and go exploring. To the bus! You're about to take off on the wildlife ride of your life. To make it official, you need to make a quick stop at the Department of Driver's Licenses. To drive the bus, you need a driver's license. Click on the ladybugs to choose different features for yourself. You can add skin colors and textures by selecting the buttons on the leaves and then sliding the parrot up and down the vine. Then, when you're picture perfect, click on the back arrow and we'll be ready to roll. With a look like that, you'll blend into any habitat. Oh, my! It's the true face of a wild driver. With a face like that, you could calm any jungle beast. Let's face it, you look divine. If you want to change your face, this is the place.
I'm Weird Owl Factovich, and do I have some weirdo facts for you? You bet I do. Factorini 1. The blue whale, which is the biggest animal in the world, has eyes the size of footballs.
Use this clipboard to get clues about the misplaced animals by clicking on the question marks in the nets. There are 4 animals to find that have been sent to the wrong habitat. Here are 4 new clues to get you started. This one's a mammal, not covered in fur. It travels on 4 hooves with his herd. On this animal are many spots, and it lives in a land that's often hot. Here's a clue for whatever it's worth. There are few of these cute mammals who live here on Earth. As you search, open your eyes. Look for an animal who loves to fly. Think of the globe on the steering wheel as your personal travel agent. Click on it, and you can pick the place you want to go. These tools will come in handy in your investigation. If you want to know more about them, just click. Make no bones about it. There's more to the world than meets the eye. Use these X-ray glasses to examine some of the skeletons that lie beneath mere feathers, scales, or fur. Use this microphone to listen to some of the sounds the animals make. When you've ventured outside and you think you spot an animal in the wrong habitat, use this net to capture it so we can send it back to its proper home. When you're in the great outdoors, use this to give magnification to nature's hidden secrets. To the back of the bus. There's gadgets and gizmos aplenty here. I have only one rule when you're in the back of the bus, and that's to have fun. Time to take chances and get creative with our eco posters. There are lots of stickers to choose from. Want to add some animals from the habitats to the mix? Here's a hint. Every time you click on an animal out in the wild, you'll earn a sticker of that animal here in your book. Have fun! Want some animals to put in your habitat? First, you have to go back into the wild and find some. Click on an animal out there, and it shows up in here. Pick your first That's where... Pick a habitat. Any habitat. That's where we are right now. If you're ready to do a little more exploring, you can pick another place to go. North American swamp.
Aren't there lots of mosquitoes in the North American swamp?
Of course, Arnold. The frogs need something to eat, you know.
So do the mosquitoes. And I have a feeling I'm about to be dinner.
Say hello to the North American swamp, where the world comes alive at night. Lucky for you, the moon is full to bring light to these mysterious wetlands.
Woohoo! Here's a bizarro fact for you. When it's duck hunting, the peregrine falcon can dive 200 miles an hour.
It's an amazing place out there. If you want to take a look up close and personal, I'd like to recommend using the door. Okay, it's time to step through the door and start to explore.
A swamp is a land that is almost completely soaked in water. It's always muddy in a swamp, which is why these hip boots come in handy.
Check out this swamp. The full moon, all that moss hanging down. I want to sketch this place.
Could you leave me out of the picture, Tim? I don't want to be reminded that I spent a night eating bugs.
At my old house, we had a family of white-tailed deer living near our deck. White-tailed deer live lots of places, including most of the U.S. and South America, and parts of Canada. The blue-crowned lorikeet is a kind of parrot that's found only in the tropics. It's a good thing we're here this time of the year, because in the winter the parula warbler wouldn't be here. It migrates to the tropical forests in South and Central America. That's a muskrat, and it's related to a beaver. It even builds its lodge out of sticks and leaves in the swamp, just like a beaver does.
This is the report I did on insects. If you want to find out about the world of insects, click on a picture. What is an insect? Some crawl, some fly, but all have antennae and 6 legs. So what are they? Insects. Creepy, crawly, camouflaging insects. Some insects, like this dung beetle, are huge. Some are so tiny, you need a microscope to see them. The one fact that bugs me about insects is there are more insects in the world than any other animal family. Butterflies. People like me who don't like bugs make an exception for butterflies. This monarch butterfly is still wrapped up in its pupa stage, waiting to come out. It has spent weeks and weeks metamorphosing from a caterpillar. To metamorphose means to change. And here it comes, a butterfly breaking out of its cocoon. Just another few seconds and it's a colorful monarch butterfly. And why are butterflies colorful? The colors help them to attract a mate, and they also let predators know that they taste awful. And who would have thought something so pretty could taste so bad? Dragonflies. Dragonflies begin their life in the water, and they are awesome predators. When they're young, they can shoot out their jaw with lightning speed and catch other insects, or even tiny fish with their clawed lip. Talk about bug-eyed, or compound bug-eyed, that is. Compound eyes are actually made up of hundreds of tiny eyes that help the dragonfly see movement in all directions at the same time. That way, when they're flying, they can easily spot other bugs they want to turn into breakfast. Then zap! Dragonflies have been on this earth for millions of years. This fossil could even be as much as 300 million years old. At that time, way before the dinosaurs, some dragonflies had wingspans of up to 3 feet wide. Now that's what I call a big bug.
Welcome to the Bone Zone. Call me Bones, Sherlock Bones. I see you've discovered a pile of bones. We've got to figure out who they belong to, or belonged to, I should say. You need to finish putting this animal's skeleton together. So, have at it. Bon voyage! Bones about it. That's a turtle. You get the Sherlock Bones tail wag of approval. Case closed.
That duck doesn't look real. Are you sure it doesn't have a wind-up key?
Not unless it's a wind-up, ruddy duck. They look like toys, but they're real all right. That's a channel catfish. Some people like it deep-fried with tartar sauce, but in the swamp where it's alive and swimming, it hunts at night for worms, crayfish, and small fish.
Alligators are giant reptiles that spend a lot of time lying along riverbanks in the sun so they can keep themselves warm. Fortunately for their prey, they can't move very fast when they're on the land.
Thank goodness for small favors.
The chorus frog is a tree frog, and they're the first frogs in the swamp to stop hibernating.
Help Arnold gobble up those delicious flies by moving him around the pond. All you have to do is click where you want him to go. But watch out for those hungry, snapping turtles. They just love to have him for lunch. If Arnold really gets in trouble, you can click on one of the lily pads and he'll hop up there. But be careful. He can't stay there for too long. Need help? Click on the question mark. Good luck.
Oh, great. I knew I should have stayed home today.
Help Arnold gobble up those delicious flies.
Here goes nothing. Here I go again.
Now picture this. Toads can lay up to 8,000 eggs. When the tadpoles hatch, schools of them stick together in the water, and it looks like the swamp's filled with black ink.
Time to take chances and get creative with our eco posters. There are lots of stickers to choose from. Want to add some animals from the habitats to the mix? Here's a hint. Every time you click on an animal out in the wild, you'll earn a sticker of that animal here in your book. Have fun! Want some animals to put in your habitat? First, you have to go back into the wild and find some. Click on an animal out there, and it shows up in here. Let me tell you so you're in the know. Use that tool to make the stickers grow. Use that tool. Have a bowl. It'll make the sticker small.
Cricket frogs are a kind of tree frog, according to my research. They get their name because they sound like a chirping cricket. I bet that snapping turtle has some sharp teeth.
The snapping turtle, like all turtles, doesn't have any teeth at all, but its beak is sharp enough to bite through a human hand.
At least if you're going to be a frog, Arnold, you're an American bullfrog. They're the biggest frog in the swamp.
8 inches long? You think that's big?
Maybe it's not much if you're a kid, but if you're a bullfrog, it makes you big frog on campus.
It's a bubble frog, a spring peeper. Whenever it makes its call, its throat puffs up like a big balloon. How does the Cope's tree frog cope with being potential breakfast for other swamp animals? It's the chameleon of the swamp and can change colors from brown to gray to green faster than you can say ribbit.
What kind of bird was that?
It wasn't a bird, Phoebe. It was one of my cousins, a gray tree frog. I'm in love with a big bullfrog, that's me. Ribbit, ribbit. Oh, this is so embarrassing.
Make no bones about it. There's more to the world than meets the eye. Use these X-ray glasses to examine some of the skeletons that lie beneath mere feathers, scales, or fur. Use this to give magnification to nature's hidden secrets.
My, what big eyes and ears that barred owl has. The better to see and hear with at night when it hunts for mice, snakes, and frogs. Parula warbler eggs. Hey, frog eggs. I wonder if they're going to hatch. Whoa, it's a tadpole. Wow, that's amazing.
Use this microphone to listen to some of the sounds the animals make. If you spot an animal that doesn't belong in this habitat, click this net on it so we can send it back to its proper home.
Deer can live in lots of different places, but the white-tailed deer is often food for alligators who live in the swamp. So it looks like the deer stays here.
Amphibians everywhere you look in the swamp. There are amphibians. Salamanders, newts, frogs, and more frogs. And it's no wonder. Amphibians are cold-blooded animals whose babies can only live in the water. As adults, they develop lungs so they can live in or out of the water.
With long legs like that American bittern is made for standing in the water so it can fish. It's right where it belongs.
Alligators need the fresh water of the swamps to survive and to thrive. So this alligator should stay right here. Muskrats live in lodges they build in the middle of marshes. The swamplands are also known as marshes. So this muskrat must belong here.
Excellent observation. This is certainly no place for a lorikeet parrot to live. There's not enough ripe fruit for it to eat. Now, how about finding its proper habitat? Brazilian tropical rainforest. The rainforest wouldn't be home to this bright lorikeet parrot, for it wouldn't be sunny enough. I don't think the bird could bear it. The African savanna is too dry for this fine bird, but it thrives in the tropics, or so I've always heard. You really nailed it that time. You really were specific. This bird will soon be on its way to an island in the South Pacific. It's time for destination migration. My old friend Helencopter is standing by. Deliver that lorikeet to the island of Tonga in the South Pacific, where it's warm and breezy. Thanks, Helen. Outstanding! 1 animal found and 3 to go. For finding and sending one animal to its proper habitat, you've earned the honorable Nature Ranger Scout Award. If you'd like, you can print it out to remind you of your noble deed. Where shall we go? Our school. North American Sonoran Desert. North American Sonoran Desert.
In my old school, we never went to the Sonoran Desert.
Well, at least you won't be able to say that about your new school, Phoebe.
I spy a saguaro cactus. That means we've landed in the North American Sonoran Desert. And as I always say, if you can take the heat, get out into the desert.
I'm Weird Owl Factovich, and do I have some Weird Owl facts for you? You bet I do. Factorini 1. When two prairie dogs meet, you'll never guess how they figure out if they know each other. They kiss! Woohoo!
Use this clipboard to get clues about the misplaced animals by clicking on the question marks in the nets. Remember, there are 7 habitats to explore, so try as you might. You won't find a misplaced animal in every place you visit. The North American Sonoran Desert is home to creatures who can take the heat. If you discover an animal who doesn't belong here, you'll be cooking. Phew! What a view! But if you want to see more, I'd head out the door. As my great-aunt Doris once said, you always learn more if you walk through the door.
According to Miss Frizzle, a desert is a desert because it doesn't get very much rain. Less than 10 inches in a whole year.
Does it ever get any root beer?
Hey, Dorothy Ann, why did the bobcat cross the playground?
I don't know, Carlos.
To get to the other slide.
If I were a roadrunner, I'd race through the desert. Roadrunners, like horses, can run 20 miles an hour.
It's almost nighttime, but it's still hot here. I don't know how the animals can take it.
A lot of them can't, so they're nocturnal, sleeping in the day and staying awake at night.
The lesser long-nosed bat. In baseball, I've used a long-necked bat, but never one with wings who's got a nose like that. Besides, my bat isn't endangered, and this one is.
According to my research, the kangaroo rat never ever drinks water. It gets all the water it needs from eating dry seeds. Can you believe it, Ralphie? The spadefoot toad spends 10 months out of the year hibernating underground.
Whoa, and I thought I slept a lot.
For humans, surviving in a desert means bringing along a canteen. But the animals who live here have adapted to the hot, dry weather. How? They don't need to drink much water, and most of them beat the heat by sleeping underground or in cactuses during the day and coming out to eat at night. Sounds like a plan to me.
Bats are the only flying mammals, except, of course, for Superman. This bat eats insects and pollen, nectar, and fruit from the saguaro cactus.
Know what you get if you cross a hot tuna with a poodle?
A baked tuna poodle casserole?
Nope, a desert pupfish. One of the few fish who actually live in the hot desert. Meet my buddy, Bobcat. Bobcat for short. His mom didn't name him Bob. He's named that because he's got a short bob tail.
First, let me tell you right off, most lizards in the world are not poisonous. There are only 2 that are, and that Gila monster lizard is one of them.
Faster than a professional racehorse. It's the black-tailed jackrabbit.
Is it just me, or is anyone else rattled by rattlesnakes?
It's not just you, Ralphie. Rattlesnakes are venomous snakes, and if they sink their fangs into you, it could kill you.
Oh, great. Do I feel better? I don't think so.
Wanda here, reporting on the Coatimundis, sometimes called the desert raccoon. Coatimundis are part of the raccoon family, with an awesome difference. Instead of having a big bushy tail, it has a skinny prehensile tail that it uses to grab things.
Bonjour! You did it again. See what you can make of it this time. It's a rough one. Ruff, ruff. No need to pick a bone with you, if I'm not mistaken. It's a lesser long-nosed bat. In my eyes, you will always be the Bone Master. Case closed.
Meet the tiniest owl in the world, who lives in the biggest cactus in the world. Elf owls cactus live in holes in saguaro cacti.
To know a cactus is to go inside a cactus. Let me introduce you to my temporary habitat, the saguaro cactus, an entire ecosystem protected by prickles. This hole I'm in was drilled a long time ago by a Gila woodpecker who made her nest in here. When the woodpecker moves out, the elf owl moves in.
A Gila woodpecker pecked a nesting hole in a saguaro cactus. How many nesting holes did the Gila woodpecker peck?
One?
Yep, and get this. After she pecks that hole, she won't come back and move in for a whole year.
Welcome to the #1 game show in the animal kingdom. It's Scat Soundtrack, and I'm your host, Scat Stevens. Before we get started, let's sign in. Will you be playing a one-player game or a two-player game? One player it is. Okay, here's the poop. Scoop. We have 3 categories: scat, sounds, and tracks. Pick and click on one of the question cards under a category and see if you can answer it correctly. Get it right, and you rack up the number of points on the card. Get it wrong, and well, just keep trying till you've cleared the board and racked up as many points as you can. Scat it is. Ooh-wee, I hope you know what scat is. It's ordinary, everyday poop. Doo-doo, droppings, feces. Everybody makes it. It's the thing we all do. Now, here's your question. This one's worth 50 points. Hey, you! I'd hate to get some of this stuck on my shoes. Now, let's see what's in it to make it so stinky. Aha! Mice and caribou fur and bones. Any idea who popped the poop? Poop is absolutely correct. Now, let's go to another question. Sound it is. We all know many animals communicate by using sounds. Now, listen closely and see if you can identify who made this one. This one's worth 30 points. Fine-tune your ears and see if you can identify which animal made this sound. Now, which animal made that sound? All right, I wouldn't be lying if I told you the lion is the right answer. Time to pick another question card. Tracks. Ah, yes. Let's see if we can find out who left these tracks behind. This one's worth 30 points. Okay, Junior Tracker, who left these tracks behind? You got it! Those are the hoof tracks of a zebra. It's time to pick another question. Tracks it is. This one's worth 50 points. I spy some animal tracks. Very interesting. Who do you suppose they belong to? You tracked it. Those are indeed wolf.
Time to take chances and get creative with our eco posters. There are lots of stickers to choose from. Want to add some animals from the habitats to the mix? Want some animals to put in your habitat? First, you have to go back into the wild and find some. Click on an animal out there, and it should let me tell you so you're in the know. Use that tool to make the stickers grow. Use that tool. Have a bowl. It'll make the sticker small.
According to Miss Frizzle, a desert is a desert because it doesn't get very much rain. Less than 10 inches in a whole year.
Does it ever get any root beer?
Hey, Dorothy Ann, Why did the bobcat cross the playground?
I don't know, Carlos.
To get to the other slide.
It's almost nighttime, but it's still hot here. I don't know how the animals can take it.
A lot of them can't, so they're nocturnal, sleeping in the day and staying awake at night. If I were a roadrunner, I'd race through the desert. Roadrunners, like horses, can run 20 miles an hour.
Meet my buddy, Bobcat. Bobcats stalk jackrabbits, mice, squirrels, and birds. For him, it's dinner. But for them, it's a catastrophe. Faster than a professional racehorse. It's the black-tailed jackrabbit can run 50 miles, and black-tailed jackrabbits have built-in anyone know who can jump higher than faster than a professional racehorse. And who eats bobcats? Mountain lions do. I guess it's a cat-eat-cat world out here.
Use this microphone to listen to some of the sounds the animals make. Make no bones about it. There's more to the world than meets the eye. Use these X-ray glasses to examine some of the skeletons that lie beneath mere feathers, scales, or fur. Use this to give magnification to nature's hidden secrets.
P.U. That piñacate beetle should be called a stink bomb beetle. That smelly spray keeps predators away, and who can blame them? A scorpion. Its sting can sometimes be deadly, and I don't know about you, but that sure bugs me. A tarantula! I hope it does not bite you on the neck. But if it does, don't worry, because the bite of the tarantula is not deadly.
If you spot an animal that doesn't belong in this habitat, click this net on it so we can send it back to its proper home.
The spadefoot toad hibernates most of the year in hard, dry, sandy soil. There is a lot of hard, dry, sandy soil here, so this must be its proper habitat.
This lesser long-nosed bat needs to stay right here because it helps the saguaro cactuses grow by pollinating them.
No doubt this Gila monster's in its right habitat. They like it hot, and it sure is hot here in the desert. Bobcats like to fill up on jackrabbits. Because there are jackrabbits all over the desert, I think he might get real cranky if we move him to another habitat. Woo-hoo!
Desert pupfish don't want to beat the heat. They need the heat. And there's lots of that here in the desert. So no new habitat for these fish.
Is it just me, or does anybody else wish that rattlesnake didn't belong here? Well, it definitely does live in the desert, which is where we are and where it needs to stay.
According to my research, this kangaroo rat never has to drink water. So I'd say that it's right where it belongs. coatamundi still live in the desert, and others live in rainforests. This one looks happy right here in the desert. Because elf owls live in saguaro cacti, and this is the only place in the world saguaros grow, this owl's in the right habitat.
Send this Gila woodpecker to another habitat? That idea's for the birds, because I happen to know it belongs right here in the desert.
Amphibians and Reptiles by Ralphie. Click on a picture if you want to find out about slimy and scaly creatures. What's the difference between an amphibian and a reptile? Amphibians, like this frog, have slimy bodies and lay their eggs in the water. Frogs and salamanders need to stay wet because some of them actually breathe through their moist skin. Reptiles, like this lizard, don't need to stay wet. They have scaly skin covering their bodies, and the scales help to keep them from drying out. Reptiles, like turtles and lizards, lay their eggs on the land. So do snakes, but some snakes and even some kinds of lizards don't lay eggs at all. Their babies come right out of their mother's bodies, just like mammals. Cold-blooded animals. Animals who need the sun to warm up their bodies are called cold-blooded. It doesn't mean these cold-blooded iguanas are cold, just that their bodies are the same temperatures as the air around them. For most amphibians and reptiles, like this crocodile, who's cooling off in the water with its egg, that works just fine. But maybe not for this little lizard whose feet are burning up on the sand. He's out of here. This mother frog's tadpoles were born underwater. In fact, most amphibians, like frogs and salamanders, lay their eggs underwater so that their eggs don't dry out. But once they're grown, you can find amphibians anywhere, even gliding from trees, like this flying frog. Reptiles, on the other hand, like iguanas, skinks, and turtles, lay their eggs up on the land. When the babies hatch, their scaly skin keeps them moist, even in the desert.
Pick a habitat, any Brazilian tropical rainforest.
According to my research, opossums live in the rainforest. Maybe I can see what it's like to hide in an opossum's pocket.
Stranger things have happened. Welcome to the Brazilian tropical rainforest. It's a jungle out there, not to mention a soaking wet one, so don't forget your hands. Phew, what a view! But if you want to see more, I'd head out the door.
I'm Weird Owl Factovich, and do I have some weirdo facts for you? You bet I do. Factorini 1. When Darwin tadpoles are born, the father swallows them. Is it because he's hungry? Nope. After they turn into little frogs, he spits them out.
These tools will come in handy as my great-aunt Doris once said, you always learn more if you walk through the door.
Anyone know why the insect was kicked out of the rainforest?
I'm afraid to ask, Carlos.
Because it was a litter bug.
An animal's neighborhood is called a habitat.
Well, I call this habitat hot, dark, and wet.
Check out all the vines in the rainforest. They're perfect for swinging on. I wonder if they ever break.
Know where a fish-eating bat takes a bath, Ralphie?
In the river?
No, in the bat room.
It wouldn't be easy to play soccer in the rainforest. With all these trees, it would be more like ricochet ball.
Oh, this is bad, bad, bad. It is up to us to find all those misplaced animals.
Well, have no fear, Keisha. Miss Frizzle's class is here.
Red alert. Poison dart frog dead ahead.
You're not kidding about the dead part, Ralphie. The Choco Indians used the frog's poison on their hunting darts to hunt animals. Although pandas sometimes eat fish, mice, and birds, their main diet is bamboo. If there's not enough bamboo around, the pandas will starve.
If Liz could talk, she'd tell you that the ability to smell and taste is what keeps reptiles informed and safe. Reptiles have two ways of using their sniffer. They smell through their nose, and they use their tongue to taste scents in air. So when you see a reptile sticking out its tongue, it's not being rude. It's smelling and taste testing the air. Well, ta-ta!
Opossums are excellent tree climbers, and they can use their prehensile or grasping tails to hang upside down, according to my research.
That bird looks like it's ready to take off.
Entirely possible, Ralphie. Black-burning warblers leave the rainforest every spring and spend their summers in the northern U.S. and Canada. They fly about 7,000 miles.
Whoa! And I thought my arms got tired playing basketball.
Fish-eating bats are called fish-eating bats because they're bats that eat fish. Big surprise, huh? But they're also called bulldog bats because they look kind of like bulldogs with their big swollen lips. Meet Banana Bill. That's what some people call the toucan because of his big beak. With a bill that big, I think Banana Boat Bill would be even better.
Welcome to my nightmare. An anaconda snake. The biggest snake in the Americas. The heaviest snake in the world. Over 500 pounds.
What's the big deal, Ralphie?
He makes large mammals into meals with a single chomp.
I see your point.
Know why jaguars have spotted coats? It camouflages them so they're rarely spotted. Then their prey can't see them till it's too late.
Is it just me, or is it not too safe to go into the water?
I wouldn't touch that water with a 10-foot pole, Ralphie. That's a piranha, a freshwater river fish known to eat through a 250-pound capybara in less than a minute.
And I thought I was a fast eater. The capybara is the biggest rodent in the world, cousin to Arnold's hamster.
And big enough to eat Arnold's hamster.
Maybe, but just like Scruffy, the capybara is a vegetarian.
That tapir looks like a pig.
According to my research, Carlos, they're not related to pigs at all. They're relatives of horses, zebras, and rhinoceroses. Check out that ocelot sitting up in the tree like the queen of the rainforest. Ocelots spend a lot of time up in trees, hiding from predators and trying to catch birds.
That snake isn't an ordinary snake. It's a fer-de-lance, a very poisonous pit viper, as in, one bite and I'm viped out.
Living in the trees isn't just for the birds. It's a way for many animals to stay safe from their non-tree climbing predators. Well, don't mind me. I'm back up in my tree.
I'd sure like a capybara on the swim team. They have webbed toes, which make them great swimmers, and they can stay under the water for 5 minutes.
Welcome to the Bone Zone. Call me Bones, Sherlock Bones. I see you've discovered a pile of bones. We've got to figure out who they belong to, or belonged to, I should say. You need to finish putting this animal's skeleton together. So, have at it. Bon voyage! believe that's the skeleton of a bona fide howler monkey. If I wasn't a dignified dog, I'd lick you in appreciation. Case closed.
Red alert. Poison dart frog dead ahead.
You're not kidding about the dead part, Ralphie. The Choco Indians use the frog's poison on their hunting darts to hunt animals. I, Keisha, the baby anaconda, am about to be passed from snake to snake in this game of swinging snakes.
Keisha's going to need help to get to the other side of the river. That's where you come in. When you click on the snake holding Keisha, it will pass her to the next snake. You have to make sure the next snake is close enough to catch her, otherwise Keisha will fall in the water.
Don't worry, I can swim.
Hey, it's your wet snakeskin, Quiche. And if you need some help along the way, just click on the question mark at the bottom of your screen.
That was fun. You ought to try this sometime. Woohoo! That was great! Yes! I made it! I, Keisha, the baby anaconda, am going to attempt once again to be passed from snake to snake. Woohoo! That was great!
This level is going to be tricky. Some snakes are longer than others, so your timing has to be extra careful.
Oh, bad, oh, bad, oh, bad! Woohoo! That was great! I, Keisha, the baby anaconda, am going to attempt once again to be passed from snake to snake. Oh, bad, oh, bad, oh, bad, oh, bad! That was fun. You ought to try this sometime.
Time to take chances and get creative with our eco posters. There are lots of stickers to choose from. Want to add some animals from the habitats to the mix? Here's a hint. Every time you click on an animal out in the wild, you'll earn a sticker of that animal here in your book. Have fun! Want some animals to put in your habitat? First, you have to go back into the wild and find some. Click on an animal out there, and it shows up in here.
Marsupials by Dorothy Ann. Click on Life in a Pouch.
Believe it or not, this is a baby kangaroo. It was just born, and it's crawling up to its mother's pouch where it will nurse and grow. Animals that have pouches are called marsupials. Koalas are also marsupials. So are bandicoots, honey possums, and the tree kangaroo. Most marsupials call Australia home, including this cute potaroo.
Opossums. The opossum is the only marsupial found in Australia, who is also native to North and South America,
An opossum's tail is prehensile, which means it can use it to grab onto things. It can even use its tail to hang upside down. If you went to South America, you'd see lots of different kinds of opossums, from big to tiny, like this little murine mouse opossum. Opossums eat fruit and any animals they can catch. Opossum babies stay in their mother's pouch for 2 months while they grow bigger and stronger. After that, they can go in and out. Sometimes they even take a ride clinging to their mother's back. Kangaroos. Kangaroos live all over Australia. They are great jumpers and can leap 30 feet in the air. The kangaroo babies, or joeys, can jump into their mom's pouch head first. These marsupials live in herds like deer. They kickbox for play and when they fight. There are 45 different kinds of kangaroos living in Australia.
Make no bones about it. There's more to the world than meets the eye. Use these X-ray glasses to examine some of the skeletons that lie beneath mere feathers, scales, or fur. Use this to give magnification to nature's hidden secrets.
Leaf beetles never have to worry about food in the rainforest, since all they eat are leaves. Check out this bromeliad. A spider and a tiny tree frog are living inside it.
Use this microphone to listen to some of the sounds the animals make. If you spot an animal that doesn't belong in this habitat, click this net on it so we can send it back to its proper home.
Is it just me, or is anyone else worried that this is one super poisonous snake that could kill you dead with a single strike of his fangs? Unfortunately for the other animals that live here, this fer-de-lance is a native to the Brazilian tropical rainforest. I hope that anaconda's not eyeing me for lunch. With any luck, he has other things to eat since he's a native to this rainforest.
You know why this jaguar has spots? So he's not spotted in the dense forest. Since what we have going here is definitely a dense forest, I'd say this jaguar's right where it belongs. I once did a report on a tapir for the Frizz, so I happen to know it's right at home.
Rumor has it that ocelots eat a lot of animals that live in the Brazilian tropical rainforest. So unless we want this guy to starve, he'd better stay put.
How many toucans can live in the rainforest? At least 2 can, and I think this bird is in the right place.
Personally, I I wouldn't mind if this howler monkey's native habitat was my bedroom. He'd make a great alarm clock. But it turns out that the rainforest is where he belongs. Okay, here's the facts. The Blackburnian warbler spends 9 months of the year here in this rainforest, then migrates north to Canada for 3 months of the year. So technically, it is right where it belongs.
If Liz could talk, she'd tell you that the ability to smell and taste is what keeps reptiles informed and safe. Reptiles have 2 ways of using their sniffer. They smell through their nose, and they use their tongue to taste scents in air. So when you see a reptile sticking out its tongue, it's not being rude. It's smelling and taste testing the air. Well, ta-ta!
According to my research, I'm a marsupial. It's awfully cozy in this pouch. A great place for reading, even if it's a little dark. What I found out is that opossums have lived in the rainforest for 65 million years.
Wahoo! Excellent observation. That panda is certainly in the wrong environment. It will never find what it needs to eat here. Let's see if we can put our brains to the task and figure out where it should really be. The Himalayan mountains. Circumpolar Arctic tundra and ocean. Way up in the Himalayas, where the bamboo grows, is where this panda needs to be. You've hit it on the nose. It's time for destination migration. My old friend Helen Copter is standing by. Take this panda back to the Himalayan mountains, where it's nice and cool. Congratulations! 1 animal found and 3 to go. For finding and sending one animal to its proper habitat, you've earned the honorable Nature Ranger Scout Award. If you'd like, you can print it out to remind you of your noble deed. There are 7 habitats to explore, so try as you might. You won't find a misplaced animal in every place you visit. You've already found an animal here after looking far and wide, but there are other habitats to search where misplaced animals might hide. This one's a mammal, not covered in fur. It travels on 4 hooves with his herd. On this animal are many spots, and it lives in a land that's often hot. Where to now? Circumpolar Arctic tundra and ocean. Circumpolar Arctic tundra and ocean.
Check this out. We're headed for the Arctic tundra. I'm glad I brought my new down jacket.
That and the thrill of the adventure should keep you warm and toasty, Tim. We've just come in for an icy landing in the circumpolar Arctic tundra. Bundle up, super sleuths, and leave no iceberg unturned. Be sure to check under the water, too. There's a whole new world to explore down there. Phew! What a view! But if you want to see more, I'd head out the door. These tools will come in handy in your investigation.
I'm Weird Owl Factovich, and do I have some weirdo facts for you? You bet I do. Factorini 1. The rattles on rattlesnakes are made of the same stuff as human fingernails.
Talk about long-distance flying. The Arctic tern migrates every year to the Antarctic and back for a total round trip of 21,750 miles. The caribou is a larger and wild version of the domestic reindeer found in Europe. You won't find the domestic reindeer here in the Arctic.
One of the only animals living in the tundra that hibernates is the ground squirrel. I don't know how the other animals take it, If I lived here, I'd hibernate all year.
Check it out, the North Pole. Everything's so cold and white.
Yeah, like the tip of my frozen nose.
I ought to tell you that it's utterly fun to be an otter. Arr, 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 arr. That fox sure looks tiny.
It's tiny, all right, but it's a full-grown Arctic fox. They never get much bigger than a house cat.
Incoming! For some animals, hibernation is the only way they can survive the cold of winter. When winter hits, insects aren't active, plants stop growing, and some mammals take a long winter nap so they don't starve.
Puffins are similar to penguins, except they can fly.
Meet the wood frog. It's the only amphibian living in the Arctic. The polar bear has a thick, waterproof white coat and a lot of fat on its body to protect it while it swims in icy cold water. It's the biggest of all the bears, over 900 pounds.
Whoa, I bet he'd give a heck of a bear hug.
Wimbrels have the right idea. They spend summers in the Arctic. When things get too cold, they head south.
Here's the thing about this little piggy. It's called a peccary, and it can live lots of places in the world, as long as the weather's warm. That looks like my hamster Scruffy, only it's a collared lemming, a rodent that's all over the Arctic. Aren't you freezing out there, Wanda?
No way, because otters spend most of their time swimming in the water. We have a thick coat that traps air bubbles, keeping us warm.
Know why I don't want to be a ring seal? Because polar bears eat them for dinner.
Some otters live in fresh water, and some live in salty water. But both kinds are very playful.
Did you know that mammals have fur to keep them warm and protect them from getting hurt?
I don't think my hair is enough to keep me warm here. A polar bear suit would be more like it. Get this. Some frogs can be frozen solid as an ice cube and stay alive. In the spring, they defrost and hop away.
And when they thaw out, I bet they're really hoppy. When a puffin swims underwater, he flaps his wings, so it's almost like he's flying underwater.
P.U. Those peccaries sure know how to stink up a place. They do that so other peccaries in their herd know where it is. And let me tell you, that stink is hard to miss.
Woohoo! Some animals, like people, use tools. Chimps use sticks to get honey from bees' nests, and sea otters use stones to smash shellfish. As my class would say, animals using tools is cool.
My, what big hooves he has. I bet they work like snowshoes.
The better for him to hoof through the snow with his herd when he needs to find grass and plants to eat. In fact, that guy travels over 400 miles with thousands of other caribou every summer just to find a decent meal.
Polar bears are big, and they're big eaters. They can pack away 140 pounds of food at a time.
The Arctic tern was born to fish. It hovers over the water, and when it spots a fish, bam! It plunges in and nabs the fish with its beak.
If I was going to be a seal, I'd want to be a baby. They're born with white coats, so it's hard to see them in the snow and ice. It would be the closest I could come to being invisible.
Bonjour! You did it again. See what you can make of it this time. It's a rough one. Rough, rough. That is one whale of a skeleton. An orca whale, to be exact. That was rough. Rough, 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 rough. Case closed.
check out that humongous fish.
That's no fish, Ralphie. It's an orca whale. It's actually a mammal. It breathes air, it's warm-blooded, and it nurses its babies.
Now that's what I call fat.
Yes, and it's a good thing. Technically, it's called blubber. 6 blubbery inches of it all over the walrus's body to keep it nice and warm. See that walrus's tusks? They're really giant teeth.
Whoa, maybe he needs braces.
No way. Then he couldn't use his tusks to haul himself around on the ice.
Not too many fish can do what the salmon does. They can live in freshwater and saltwater.
Isn't it hard for the salmon to get from the ocean back to the fresh water?
Oh, that's nothing. You should see them when they have to jump up waterfalls. They can make the Olympic team if they weren't fish. I'm so hungry and practically all there is to eat here are icebergs. Hey, maybe if I cooked one, I could have an ice burger.
Good thing we're wearing these wetsuits, Ralphie.
Yeah, so our clothes don't get wet.
Without these suits, we'd be frozen solid in 2 minutes. That's how cold this ocean is.
Oh no, that was my stomach. I hope that wasn't loud enough to cause an underwater avalanche.
Hey, Ralphie, guess how much sun's in the Arctic from October to February?
I have zero idea.
0 is the right answer. It's dark here except between March and September.
Hey, wait a minute. Isn't an orca whale the same thing as a killer whale?
Don't worry, they don't eat people, Ralphie. They eat things like fish, porpoises, seals, and other marine animals.
The salmon, between logging, pollution, dams, and predators, the salmon's got a rough trip out to the ocean.
What's that penguin doing here in the North Pole? They live in the South Pole. I bet anything that penguin wishes he stayed home today. Well, little fella, I can't go home right now, but maybe you can. It's up to you. Start by helping the penguin jump from iceberg to iceberg by clicking on him just when the iceberg comes cruising by. And watch out, because the things that pass by change and get faster and faster. If you need any help, click on the question mark. See ya!
Tell you so you're in the know. Use that tool to make the stickers grow.
This is a report on fish by me, Keisha. Want to dive in? Just click on a picture. Something's fishy. Everyone knows that fish live in water, but what exactly is a fish? All fish have backbones, they breathe through gills, they're cold-blooded, and they have fins that help them swim. Some fish live only in salty water, and some only in fresh water, but not the salmon. When it's young, the salmon swims out to the ocean, then when it grows into an adult fish, it swims back to the freshwater river where it was born and lays its eggs.
coral reef. Life under the coral reef sometimes looks like you're swimming through a rainbow of colors. It's also a safe place for fish to live, far away from the big, hungry open water fish like sharks and tuna. Saddleback butterfly fish like these eat the coral polyps that grow on the reefs. When saddleback butterfly fish travel together, it's hard to tell when one fish ends and the next fish begins. This long yellow trumpet fish follows the angelfish wherever it goes, and not because they're friends. When angelfish eat coral, it forces the small sea creatures who live in the coral to leave. When these sea creatures scurry out from the coral, the trumpet fish swoops down and grabs them. Amazing but true fish tales. Under the sea, there are fish and other creatures that are stranger than even I can imagine. Like these sea dragons who look just like the seaweed around them, making it hard for their enemies to find them. Clownfish, like this one, protect themselves by living inside stinging anemones. But for some reason, they never get stung. Father seahorses, not the mothers, carry their babies in a pouch. Sounds like a fun way to travel to me.
Back for more. I dare say, go to it. Now, that is one whale of a skeleton. An orca whale, to be exact. That was rough. Case closed.
Hey, a starfish, otherwise known as a sea star. Hard to believe the sea anemone is actually an animal. It even eats fish.
That animal is right where it belongs.
The orca can live in any ocean, but there are more orca whales in cold waters like the Arctic than anywhere else. That is one big walrus. All that blubber means he's right at home in icy water.
That animal is right where it belongs. Some people think salmon belongs on a plate with lemon wedges, but I think this salmon belongs right here in the Arctic. That animal is right where it belongs.
Know why I don't want to be a ring seal? Because polar bears eat them for dinner. Go for it, penguin, you're homeward bound. Wow, Arctic tern eggs! It's hatching! My motto around bees is always to be careful. I didn't think this frog belonged here either. It's so cold. But the wood frog turns out to be the only amphibian who lives in the Arctic tundra.
Here we are in the Arctic, and that's an Arctic fox. I don't think scientists would have named it that if it didn't belong right here. Looks like a caribou reindeer to me. And since we're near the North Pole, I guess it's right at home. Puffins are like penguins. They're built for cold weather. And is it cold here? You bet.
The polar bear's thick white coat keeps it warm and is the perfect camouflage in the snow. Looks like that guy's happy where he is.
Outstanding deduction. This is hardly the place for a peccary to live. It's much too cold. So, where do you suppose its natural habitat could be? In the African savanna, a peccary might survive, but it would be the only one there, and alone it couldn't thrive. It is quite true the peccary could live in the rainforests of Brazil, but this kind lives in a drier spot, so keep on searching still. Brilliant deduction. You figured it out. It belongs in the Sonoran Desert. Time to send that peccary back where it can dig in the dusty dirt. Ready, steady, go. Fly that peccary to the Sonoran Desert where it's hot and dry. Thanks, and have a safe journey. Sensational and inspirational. Only one more animal to locate and send home. Wahoo! You're a bodacious animal detector. This award has been presented to you for your valiant efforts in locating and sending 3 animals back to their proper habitats.
This ringed seal lives for ice. Looks pretty icy here, so I think it's right at home.
I ought to tell you that it's utterly fun to be an otter.
Arr, 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 arr.
Woohoo! Here's a bizarro fact for you. A brown pelican's bill can stretch to cram in 2 entire gallons of water.
These tools will come in handy in your investigation. There are 7 habitats to explore, so try as you might. You won't find a misplaced animal in every place you visit. Where to now? Brazilian tropical rainforest. North American swamp. The African savanna. The African savanna.
Aren't there lions in the African savanna? I knew I should have stayed home today.
Ah, the African savanna. It must be the rainy season, and that's the reason the grass is long and green. But come the dry season, that grass will turn as brown as the fur of a wildebeest. We have company. Or more precisely, I think we're the company. Let's go outside to have a look around. Phew! What a view! But if you want to see more, I'd head out the door.
Factorama fabulosa, coming right up. Every single mammal in the world, except for sea cows and sloths, have 7 bones in their necks. Even a giraffe and a mouse.
Here I am in the African savannah, among the animals that tend to eat each other. I have a sinking feeling I should have stayed home today.
There are so many cool animals here. I could spend the whole school year sketching them.
Maybe the Frizz will let you stay behind and finish up the 3rd grade here.
On second thought, maybe I'll just try to remember what they look like and draw them when I get home.
At my old school, we were never surrounded by wild animals.
Your old school is sounding better all the time, Phoebe.
I remember seeing a lion kill a wildebeest on a TV show. It suffocates the wildebeest by biting its neck and clamping its jaws over its throat.
Oh, great. Now I know I should have stayed home today.
Okay, do cattle egrets ride on the backs of big mammals because they want a free ride, because they're trying to keep their feet warm, or because they think the animals are a chain of fast food restaurants?
It would have to be the last one, Tim.
Yep, they like to pick ticks off the animals' backs and call it dinner. And for that right answer, you win a free beak full of bugs. The cheetah is the world's fastest animal. For short sprints, they can go 70 miles an hour because they have long legs, a flexible spine, and a big heart. If this guy was on the freeway, he'd get a speeding ticket.
Elephants have no natural predators, and you want to know why? Because they are so huge. Nobody but nobody wants to mess with someone the size of an elephant. That's a cichlid fish. There are lots of different kinds of them in African lakes. They used to be all the same fish, but when droughts made the lakes dry up into lots of little puddles, over time, the fish living in the different puddles changed and became new species.
Ever been told you've been acting like an animal? Well, the fact is, it's true. Every living creature, from humans to insects, are animals. If you're ever in doubt, here's the test. If it's alive and it's not a plant, it's an animal.
Zebras are really just like horses with stripes. And just like horses, they have hooves. But instead of whinnying like horses, they bray like donkeys. That cute little spring hare, looks like a tiny kangaroo, is named after a rabbit and is actually a giant mouse.
Okay, true or false, Wanda? The spotted hyena is called the wild dog of the savannah. Dee 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 dee.
True?
Nope, false. He may look like a dog, but you can't judge an animal by its cover. The spotted hyena is actually a cousin to the mongoose. Hey, Phoebe, if I sketched the front of an ox, the back of an antelope, and added a horse's tail, what would I wind up with?
You get a wildebeest, Tim.
That big kitty sure looks happy.
Big kitty? It is a kind of cat, Arnold, but technically, it's a leopard.
Kitties eat food from cans. Leopards eat monkeys. Personally, I'm much happier thinking of it as a big kitty. Lions are the biggest cats in Africa, and they hunt big herds of animals. I wonder if orchids count as a herd.
That green mamba snake is a reptile who's poisonous, but fortunately is also very shy.
Flamingos eat lots of tiny shrimp and algae. The oil from the shrimp makes their feathers turn pink. It's a good thing eating grape jelly doesn't make my hair turn purple.
Do animals talk? Not exactly. Except, of course, for humans and the occasional trained parrot. But many animals do use sounds to communicate, and they have other handy skills that do the trick, like leaving behind a scent or by using body movements.
Warthogs are swine, and like their cousin the pig, they don't have much hair on their bodies. Boy, oh boy. I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but warthogs sure are ugly.
What an amazing nest. That's the home of the black-headed weaver bird. So, Arnold, what would you do if a rhinoceros charged you?
Hey, I'd pay whatever it charged.
I hope we can find all those poor animals. I bet they miss their home.
We'll find them, Phoebe, if we have to search every corner of the globe.
But a globe doesn't have any corners. It's round.
Don't get technical, Arnold.
Hey, Arnold, would you rather have an elephant attack you or a gorilla?
Personally, I'd rather the elephant attack the gorilla. I'm glad I'm not a giraffe.
Why is that, Arnold?
Imagine what it would be like to get a sore throat.
Wanda here, reporting on mammals. Just click on the pictures to check it out. What is a mammal? A mammal is a warm-blooded animal with fur, like foxes, seals, and zebras. Mammals come in all shapes and sizes, from little to giant. Some live on land and some live in the sea. But no matter where they live, all mammals breathe air. When mammal babies are born, they don't hatch from eggs. They're born live right from the mother. Mammals take really good care of their babies, and they feed them milk, just like these cheetahs. Rodents. Lots of small mammals, like this little mouse, are rodents. But some rodents, like this capybara, are huge. So what makes both of them rodents? It's their teeth. Look at them on this beaver. All rodents have big front teeth called incisors. 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. The curious thing about rodents' teeth is they keep growing and growing and growing. So rodents like this porcupine chew on hard things like nuts and wood to keep their teeth sharp. And it's a good thing they do, because without all that gnawing, their teeth would grow right out of their head. Hoofing it. Some mammals, like this pig, have to hoof it. Animals with hooves are called ungulates. All animals with hooves are related to each other. Zebras, horses, rhinoceroses, deer, camels, cows, and pigs are some of the mammals who are related because they all have hooves. Hooves are hard and flat and come in handy for running on hard ground. This tapir, like all toothed relatives, is an herbivore, which means it doesn't eat meat. All ungulates' teeth are big and flat. They're made to munch grass and leaves.
Bonjour! You did it again. See what you can make of it this time. It's a rough one. Rough, rough. A giraffe skeleton. Elementary indeed. Congratulations. Case closed.
Use that tool. Have a bowl. It'll make the sticker small. Let me tell you so you're in the know. Use that tool to make the stickers. Want some animals to put in your habitat? First, you have to go back into the wild and find some. Click on an animal out there, and it shows up in here.
Welcome to Big Game Tag, where the game is to tag animals who have something in common. And how do you tag them? By clicking on them before they duck out of sight, and before you run out of tags or time. But be careful, because not all the animals who pop up and down match the category. Okay, let's start tagging. Animals who have hooves, like horses, are called ungulates. Now see if you can tag these hoofed animals. Awesome! You tagged the hoofed animals. Hoofed ungulates are all plant eaters. Time to move on to a new category? Here it is. Animals who sleep in the day and are up and active at night are called nocturnal. Get ready and get set to tag the nocturnal animals. Excellent! You tagged nocturnal animals. To help them get around at night, nocturnal animals have special adaptations, like big eyes and sensitive ears and noses. Okay, here comes another category. Rodents are small mammals with 9 front teeth that keep growing their entire lives. So keep your eagle eyes open and get ready to tag the rodents. Job. You tagged the rodents. Because rodents have teeth that grow all their lives, they gnaw on food to keep them trim and sharp. Ready to tag some animals in a different category? Here we go. Animals who eat other animals are called carnivores. So on your mark, get set, and go tag the carnivores. You tagged carnivores. Because carnivores need to hunt for their food, they have special adaptations for finding and catching prey, like great eyesight, speed, and stealth. Flamingos eat this orange brine shrimp, and it makes their feathers turn pink. That termite lives under that skyscraper of mud. The termites build that tower to keep them cool underground. That dung beetle is rolling up a ball of dung, better known as poop, and burying it along with her eggs. When they hatch, the babies eat up the dung. Scientists think zebras have stripes because when the zebras stand in a group, all those stripes confuse their predators. They don't know where one zebra stops and another one starts. Elephants live here because they need lots of space and trees to eat. I'd say that elephant's happy right where she is.
The spotted hyena likes to munch on wildebeest. Can't find wildebeest anywhere but the savannah, so that hyena must be right where it belongs.
Different kinds of cichlid fish live all over Africa and lakes, so this little fishy belongs right where it is. Spring hares dig burrows in dry, sandy dirt, just like the dirt here in the savannah. It looks like that spring hare is already home.
Wildebeests are herbivores and they eat green grass. Unfortunately, they're also the main meal for lots of animals who live around here. So whether he likes it or not, this is where this guy belongs.
A leopard can live lots of different places, including the savannah. I think that leopard looks right at home. I know the lion belongs in the savannah. They like the long, hot days and love to feast on wildebeests. I sure hope they don't mistake me for a wildebeest.
Ever been told you've been acting like an animal? Well, the fact is, it's true. Every living creature, from humans to insects, are animals. If you're ever in doubt, here's the test. If it's alive and it's not a plant, it's an animal.
Flamingos are the most colorful birds in the savannah. I think this flamingo is home, the lucky bird. There are so many tasty roots for this warthog to eat right here. I don't think we want to send him anywhere.
That's a green mamba snake. Remember this. Green mamba snakes are very happy in the savannah, as long as they're not gobbled up by eagles. There are different types of finches all over the world, but this black-headed weaver finch lives right here on the African savannah.
Perk up your ears for this one. A giant tortoise can live for 150 years.
Where shall we go? The Himalayan mountains. The Himalayan mountains.
Is it just me, or would anyone else rather be going to a baseball game?
It's not just you, Ralphie.
Oh, there's nothing like a little thin mountain air to help me hit the high notes. Take a look at that. The Himalayas. The biggest mountains in the world. Well, as my great-uncle Mike used to say, there's no sense sitting around when you can put on your boots and take a hike.
Hoo-hoo! The blue whale, which is the biggest animal in the world, has eyes the size of footballs.
Phew! What a view! But if you want to see more, I'd head out the door.
The highest mountain in the world is right here in the Himalayas, Mount Everest. It's over 29,000 feet high. That's as tall as 9,700 kids standing on each other's shoulders.
It's an animal's nature to survive and to thrive. Mine is to stay home as much as possible.
Anyone know what's brown and hairy and really dangerous?
What?
A yak on a skateboard.
More kinds of sheep live in the Himalayan mountains than any other mountains in the world.
Look at that little red raccoon. It's so cute.
Sorry, Arnold, that's not a raccoon. It's a red panda, cousin to the raccoon and to the giant panda. And don't get too close, it's very shy.
Marmots are rodents. Big squirrels that are related to woodchucks.
Oh, it looks like it's related to my cousin Chuck.
That's a snow leopard. I guess he must like to hang out in the snow all the time.
No, just some of the time. He likes to be in the mountains in the winter and the meadow in the summer.
No animal lives higher up in the Himalayas or even the world than the yak, who is the cattle of the mountains.
Woohoo! Oh, that was great! Ever wonder why mammals fight? For food, of course. But otherwise, most mammals only fight as a last resort. They're trying to establish who's made of tougher stuff.
Look at that tongue. Giraffes can stick their tongues out really far and curl them up to grab leaves. Miss Frizzle calls that grabbing tongue a prehensile tongue.
That ibex is a kind of wild goat. Kids need hiking boots to make it up mountains like that, but ibexes have split hooves that help them climb.
That's the fish eating owl.
And don't tell me, Quiche, it eats fish.
I always thought you were brilliant, Carlos. Now I know it. You go for it, girl. Eat up. I bet you're starving to death after being in the rainforest.
What's more fun than a barrel of monkeys? A whole mountainside full of them. The snub-nosed monkey is a very playful social animal.
At my old school, we never went on field trips to visit venomous snakes. Fortunately, although the adder is poisonous, it can't kill humans.
Phoebe, you sure know how to make my day.
What's with that fan doohickey on that hoopoe's head?
Hoopoes open that up when they land on something or when they're angry or excited. There are so many different habitats in the Himalayas. Everything from delicate butterflies to big, hairy yaks live here.
I like field trips. Going to the zoo is a field trip. Not going to a place where the air is so thin you can barely breathe.
What do you call a snub-nosed monkey with bananas in its ears? You can call it anything you want because it can't hear a thing.
Carlos. In my old school, we never went on a field trip that was halfway around the world.
I really gotta get the name of your old school, Phoebe.
Bonjour! You did it again. See what you can make of it this time. It's a rough one. Rough, rough. That's it. You pieced together a hoopoe bird. Congratulations. It was a rough job. Case closed.
What's more fun than a barrel of monkeys? A whole mountainside full of them. The snub-nosed monkey is a very playful social animal.
Here's how you play this round of Tile Menagerie. Find matching pairs of animals and their tracks. Then, click on them to clear the tiles from the board. But here's the trick. You have to make sure that at least one edge of each matching tile isn't touching anything. So it looks like you could slide it out. When you've matched all the tiles and cleared the board, you've won the game. Good job! Now try to match animals and their babies. Expertly done. Now try. Match the animals to their tracks. That tile's blocked. You can only select tiles which have at least one edge that isn't touching anything. Oops, those two don't match. Try another pair. Congratulations!
The highest mountain in the world is right here in the Himalayas, Mount Everest. It's over 29,000 feet high. That's as... There are so many different habitats in the Himalayas. Everything from delicate butterflies to big, hairy yaks live here.
To be or not to be? That is the question. But it's no question that lots of bees live here in the Himalayas. A Parnassius butterfly. It's amazing that butterflies can live here in the Himalayas, where it's usually so cold. There are crane flies all over the world, 10,000 different kinds of them. And by looking at fossils, scientists can tell that crane flies look the same now as they did 35 million years ago.
Not send Liz off anywhere else, or who's going to drive the bus in a pinch?
Adders do live all over the world, even as far as the Arctic Circle. But they also live right here in the Himalayan mountains.
Here's the facts. The Himalayas are the only place in the world where the giant panda lives, because there's so much bamboo growing here for it to eat. It would be bad to send it anywhere else.
That is one cool snub-nosed monkey who happens to like living right here in the cold forest. I think this monkey is here to stay.
Oh boy! Are you catching me to send me home? The ibex is built to climb craggy cliffs. I think it belongs right where it is.
I don't think I'm the one you're looking for.
Woohoo! Oh, that was great! Ever wonder why mammals fight? For food, of course. But otherwise, most mammals only fight as a last resort. They're trying to establish who's made of tougher stuff.
The hoopoe can live in other parts of the world, like the forests of Europe. But it is also at home right here in Asia, in the Himalayan mountains.
Okay, you caught me. Now what are you going to do with me?
The red panda definitely makes its home here in the Himalayan mountains, near its cousin, the giant panda.
Since the marmot spends most of its life sleeping, maybe it could live anywhere. But I happen to know it likes to sleep right here in the Himalayas.
At my old school, no one ever caught me with a net.
That snow leopard looks happy here in the snow. This is his natural habitat, and he wants to stay put. Believe me, I can relate to that.
That yak doesn't need to be sent anywhere. It likes it here in the snow. Besides, if we did send him somewhere else, I wouldn't be able to stand around and yak about it. That fish-eating owl lives right here in the Himalayas. So if it's owl right with you, we'll keep it that way.
Decisively deductive. That giraffe would need quite a long neck scarf to keep it warm here in the Himalayan winters. Now the question is, where is its native habitat? A most cunning conclusion. That's where that giraffe should be. Let me radio Helen Copter, and she'll be here presently. Come in, Helen. Can you read me? I'll take that as a yes. to the African Savannah. Onward and upward. Fantastico! You've returned all of the misplaced animals to their right and proper habitats. And for that, you've earned a certificate of excellence. Master Rescue Hero Extraordinaire. Master Rescue Hero Extraordinaire. Presented for your outstanding achievement and acts of caring and daring in locating and returning all 4 animals to their native habitat. All 4 of the animals are present and accounted for. But if you'd like, you can start the game all over and look for 4 more animals. What do you say? Don't let that stop your exploration and investigation. There's still a world of animals out there. Let me tell you so you're in the know. Use that tool to make the stickers grow. Use that tool. Have a bowl. It'll make the sticker small.
Match domestic animals with their wild cousins. Good job! Now try to match male animals with female animals. That tile's blocked. You can only select tiles which have at least one edge that isn't touching anything. Oops, those 2 don't match. Did it! Match the animals to their tracks. The report I did is on endangered animals. If you want to find out about these animals, click on a picture. Why animals are endangered. Many animals around the world, like this panda, are endangered. That means that they are in danger of going extinct, disappearing forever, like the dinosaurs. So why do animals like these manatees become endangered? The main reason is the loss of their habitat. Animal habitats are sometimes destroyed so houses and shopping centers can be built, or the forests they live in are cut down for wood. Famous endangered animals. There are some pretty famous animals that have been endangered, like this bald eagle. Animals that are still endangered include snow leopards, elephants, and humpback whales. The loss of habitat affects lots of other animals too, like the wolf, the Siberian tiger, and the mountain gorillas. It's sad to think that someday the only way we may get to see these creatures is in picture books. Help save the animals. Today, people realize that endangered animals need our help. Habitats are being saved, so rare animals, like this white rhino, can survive. There are also laws to protect them from being hunted. The United States national bird, the bald eagle, became endangered when DDT, a pesticide used on plants, worked its way into the eagle's food. DDT didn't kill the eagles directly, but it made their eggs break. When scientists figured this out, DDT was banned in the United States. Now that the eagle's eggs are no longer breaking, more and more eagles are being born every day and are growing into strong young birds. If we all keep trying, maybe some of the other animals who are endangered will make a comeback, just like the bald eagle.
It's a toony-loony factoroonie. When the sun is sweltering, squirrels use their tails to shade themselves.
All 4 of the animals are present and accounted for. But if you'd like, you can start the game all over and look for 4 more animals. Don't let that stop your exploration and investigation. There's still a world of animals out there. To the South Pacific Island Reef.
I can already feel the sea breezes and smell the salt in the air.
I can feel the warm ocean breezes of Tonga, the island paradise in the South Pacific. If you remember to pack your inquiring mind and your sunscreen, then you're ready to explore. Be sure to check under the water, too. There's a whole new world to explore down there.
Coming up! When 2 prairie dogs meet, you'll never guess how they figure out if they know each other. They kiss! Woohoo!
These tools will come in handy in your investigation. It's an amazing place out there. If you want to take a look up close and personal, I'd like to recommend using the door.
Hey, Dorothy Ann, guess what? There's a cat living in the waters of this South Pacific island.
According to my research, Carlos, cats don't live underwater.
This one does. It's an octopus.
There aren't very many mammals on the South Pacific Islands. Since they couldn't migrate to an island by themselves because of all this water, most of them were brought here on ships a long time ago by people.
I smell a rat, or at least I see a rat. A Norway rat. What in the heck is a rat doing here? All the way from Norway.
Many years ago, that rat's ancestors stowed away on boats from Europe that were coming here. When they arrived on the island, they jumped ship. Lots of different kinds of birds live on the South Pacific Islands because nobody had to bring them here. They could fly.
Guess you could say island living is for the birds. See that pig over there? Never tell it a secret.
Why is that?
Because it'll squeal.
It's easy to find the same kinds of birds living in different places, but this Tongan whistler can only be found in Tonga. That blue-crowned lorikeet looks right at home. Helen Copter had to fly that little bird almost 8,000 miles from the swamp to this island.
Here, piggy, piggy, piggy. Or is it hoggy, hoggy, hoggy?
According to my research, pigs are hogs and hogs are pigs. They're the same thing. Only the babies are always called piglets, never hoglets.
Ever wonder how animals stay clean? Some wash off in the water, just like this. But there's more than one way to take a bath. Animals lick, pick out bugs, roll in the dust, and, believe it or not, even roll in the mud to keep themselves clean and free of bugs.
That's a Pacific reef heron, and according to my research, this bird lives all over the South Pacific. According to my research, there are some islands around here that are so dense with plants and trees that it's impossible for people to go there to study the wildlife.
Yo, Dorothy Ann, know how to make a turtle float?
It does it all by itself, Carlos.
No way. To make a turtle float, you need 2 scoops of ice cream, soda water, and a turtle on top.
Oh, Carlos.
Whoa! It's a bat colony. Sorry. I hope it doesn't drive you bats when we're looking at you. What a ratty-looking rat's nest. Some spiders spin silk so long that they can travel on it, blowing from island to island in the wind. What a way to travel.
Bonjour! You did it again. See what you can make of it this time. It's a rough one. Rough, rough. Make no mistake. You've pieced together the bones of a sea snake. Fine detective work. Case closed.
Here's a puzzle for you. Unscramble this mess by clicking on the puzzle pieces and dragging them to where you think they should go. Each time you move a piece, it will switch places with the piece that's already there. If you want to choose a different puzzle, just click on the arrow buttons on the screen. And if you want to make the puzzle harder, just click the levels button on the bottom of your screen. All right, you did it! Isn't that baby tiger cute? He'll stay with his mother for 2 years, even though he'll be able to hunt and kill when he's just 7 months old. For the next puzzle, just click on the arrow on your screen when you're ready to start. Even though they're related, that goldfish better look out for that carp. Ready for another one? Just click on the arrow on your screen when you're ready to start.
Use that tool. Have a bowl. Want some animals to put in your habitat? First, you have to let me tell you so you're in the know. Use that tool to make the stickers grow.
I smell a rat, or at least I see a rat. A Norway rat. One.
Wanda here with an underwater report. This water is warm and salty. I'm glad I brought my scuba gear. Wanda here, reporting on the green sea turtle. This turtle spends most of its time in warm, shallow ocean water and only comes out to lay its eggs in the sand.
What's a fish? Most fish swim in water, breathe through gills, have scales, and swim using their fins. And I don't mean the rubber kind Wanda's wearing.
Symbiosis. It means animals working together as partners. A bird sits on an animal's back and picks out bugs. It gets the animal clean and the bird fed. It's the I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine marvel of the animal kingdom.
Guess I'm officially a parrotfish, and for the moment I'm living with a school of fellow fish in the coral reef.
Those bright colors on the sea snake are a big-time warning to other animals. Stay away, they say. I'm poisonous. As soon as turtle babies hatch, they have to run to the sea. Otherwise, all the birds, crabs, and mammals line up, ready to grab them for lunch.
Parrotfish are really something. We've got these big fish beaks for biting off chunks of coral and big teeth to grind it up so we can eat the algae growing inside.
The sea snake is a pretty curious guy, but he doesn't attack unless a predator tries to get him.
Check it out! I'm swimming like a fish, which means that I'm moving my body in an S shape, kind of like a snake does.
I'm reporting live to you from the coral reef. Coral may look like a plant, but it's actually lots of tiny animals called polyps that join together to form coral neighborhoods.
My report is on invertebrates. If you want to find out about animals without backbones, click on a picture. No bones about it. This is an orb weaver spider, and this is a ghost crab. What do these two animals have in common? They're both invertebrates, which means they don't have backbones. Invertebrates, like this sea slug, have no bones at all. Invertebrates call many places home, like the starfish who lives in the ocean, or the scorpion with her babies on her back who lives on land. Some invertebrates live both places, like this red hermit crab. Right now, it looks like he just moved into this cozy glass jar. And who said you couldn't live in a glass house? Slimy sea creatures. Some of the coolest and tastiest invertebrates live in the sea. Clams, crabs, and shrimp have shells to protect their slimy bodies. But some soft, slimy sea creatures protect themselves by having bright colors and tasting really bad. Their colors advertise, "Don't eat me." Sea slugs are as beautiful as butterflies and really squishy. They eat prickly sponges and stinging anemones. Spiders. Spiders, like this hairy tarantula, have fangs and 8 legs. These invertebrates spin sticky webs with their silk. All spiders are carnivores. Some hunt down their prey by jumping on them on the ground. And some, like this one, wait in their web and bam, moth dinner. Or she can wrap it up with her silk and save it for a midnight snack.
Snails spend their days eating all the algae that grows on the coral. Wow, a giant clam. It eats lots of algae. That's why it grows to be so big.
My fellow parrotfish swim throughout these waters and have no interest in traveling to any other habitat. Thank you very much.
I see you're back for a second helping. I have the same problem. Can't stay away from those bones. Oh.
Use that tool. Have a bowl. It'll make the sticker small. some animals to put in your habitat? First, you have to go back into the wild and find some. Click on an animal out there, and it shows up in here.
Wow, this is cool. Just a minute ago, I saw another green sea turtle just like this one. Lay her eggs up on the sand, then swim away. This turtle must be right where it belongs.
All 4 of the animals are present and accounted for. But if you'd like, you can start the game all over and look for 4 more animals. What do you say? Don't let that stop your exploration and investigation. There's still a world of animals out there. Think of the globe on the steering wheel as your personal travel agent.
Woohoo! Time for factoroni and cheese. Know where a snake's ears are? Nowhere! They don't have them. They feel vibrations on the ground.
If you want to change your face, this is the place. To the back of the bus. There's gadgets and gizmos aplenty here. I have only one rule when you're in the back of the bus, and that's to have fun. Welcome to the Gameatron, the master game machine, where you'll collect the games you play out in the habitats. You can come here whenever you like and play them again and again. In my class, because as I always say, to know an animal is to be an animal. Help my class learn what it's like to be an animal. Take chances, experiment, go wild! Just click on the arrows to pick a kid and an animal to morph together. The Plastic Fantastic Experiment Machine. As I always say, the best way to learn is to experiment, make mistakes, and get messy. This Adaptomatic machine lets you see how different animals have adapted so they can survive under different conditions. To see how cousins of your friends, the cat, dog, rat, and parakeet, have changed to suit their environments, click on one of the animals at the top and drag it into the chute. Want to try a different environment? Click on a picture at the bottom of the screen and you can hop from the forest to the desert even faster than our bus. What does a cat need to survive in the forest? This jaguar's spots come in handy to camouflage her so she's rarely seen by other animals. It helps her blend into the forest and allows her to stalk and catch prey without being seen. The only dogs that have adapted to water are pet dogs that have been bred for hunting, like water spaniels and golden retrievers. Alakazam! It's a muskrat! With all this water to swim in, survival is easier for this cousin of the rat. The muskrat's webbed feet make her a super swimmer, allowing her to escape from predators. Trixie or Tweety would have a tough time surviving in the Arctic, but not the ptarmigan. It's a hardy bird whose feathers change color with the season, camouflaging him from predators. And with feet like snowshoes, he can make quick tracks over the snow. A dog in the desert? That would be the coyote. Its light-colored coat helps it keep cool and allows it to blend into its desert habitat, protecting it from danger and helping it to hunt. In the natural world, it's often a fight to the finish for food. So some animals use armor to protect themselves, like this snail and crab. And who wins if you pit the crab against the snail? It's the crab, hands down, who eats the snail, because the crab's got the stronger shell. But here, you can control the thickness of the crab's and snail's armor, making it thicker or thinner by clicking on them. Then, click on the bell and see what it takes to make the snail survive. Now we have the crab with a light claw pitted against the snail wearing a thick shell. A draw! The snail doesn't have a scratch on it. Looks like the crab took a bit of a beating. And there's no snail dinner this round. Here we have the crab with its heavy claw about to take on the snail, protected by a medium shell. Chalk up one snail snack. It looks like that medium shell wasn't protection enough for that snail. Eating down the food chain, woo! The food chain is all about who eats what and who eats whom and in what order. Click on the things on the left side of the screen and drag them to the chair in the correct order to see what happens. If you need help, click on the question mark.
You put a net on the plate and you sit and wait, just to see who's going to congregate.
Then a mouse sits down and he goes to town, munching on that nut till it's downward bound.
Make no mistake, here comes a snake who swallows that mouse like a rodent cupcake.
The food chain's done when in the owl comes. He eats the snake before you count to 1.
Food chain, eating down that funky food chain.
Start with phytoplankton. It's microscopic. Who eats it next? Well, that's the topic.
A strange dinner guest, that's really for certain. The copepod comes in, the phytoplankton, it's curtains.
Here comes the fish with its eye on the dish, and in one gulp, those copepods are pulp.
A penguin waddles in, it's dressed to kill, devours the fish till he has his fill.
Time to polish off the penguin. It's a Weddell seal at the very tip top of this funky food chain deal.
Food chain, eating down that funky food chain.
Next in the chain comes the buzzing mayfly. It's the absolute truth, I surely wouldn't lie.
Now tell me who eats that little mayfly. Looks like the salmon's gonna give it a try.
Cooked salmon dinner sounds tasty to me, but the old sea lion likes it raw, you see.
At the peak of the chain, I'll tell a tale. At the top of this heap is the orca whale.
Food chain, eating down that funky food chain.
Start with some grass. It looks so delicious. Who do you think will find it nutritious?
In the wild, it's an animal-eat-animal world. Many animals hide by camouflaging themselves, blending into their habitats. Both prey and predators alike use this handy method to avoid detection. Up on land or down in the water, camouflage is the name of the game. Now you can try blending these animals into their surroundings by clicking and dragging them to their natural hiding places. If you need help, you can click on the question mark. That's not the best. You did it! All of the animals blend into their surroundings. If you want to camouflage animals in another environment, click on one of the pictures down below. All animals hidden admirably. Outstanding job. If you want to camouflage animals in another environment, click on one of the pictures down below. All animals hidden admirably. Outstanding job. If ever want to conduct an animal chorus, well, here's your chance. You can choose from any of the 5 animal families shown at the bottom of the screen. Then click on any of the related animals that will appear on the screen to see and hear it do its thing. You can click on the different animals to hear their sounds at the same time. It's a real chorus of critters. It looks like frogs 4, princes 0. Click on the chorus frog, bullfrog, gray tree frog, or spring peeper to really get this place hopping. Something tells me our fine feathered friends have a real treat in store for you. Click on the duck, toucan, whippoorwill, and blackburnian warbler for a real song fest. These animals all have hooves, which means they belong to the ungulate family. If you want to hear what they have to say, click on the zebra, warthog, deer, and wildebeest. Let's listen to these members of the dog family. Click on the wolf, coyote, fox, and dog to hear their canine chorus. You could say these critters are the cat's meow. Click on the lion, bobcat, jaguar, and leopard to have a roaring good time. Welcome to Dr. Frankenstein's lab, a place where you can tinker with Mother Nature and create your own creatures. Click on the pictures at the top of the screen to choose a skin covering, a type of beak or teeth, and limbs for your creature. When you're ready to see what you brewed up, click on the power switch, then presto! You may discover a strange creature never before seen, or your combination may create a real live wild animal. Feathers, grinding teeth for plants and flippers. Check out the features on that creature. It may not exist in the wild, but it's looking like a wild thing to me. Feathers, beak for crushing, and wings. And what do you get? A cardinal. Scales, slicing teeth for meat, and webbed feet. And watch out, because you created an alligator. Fur, grinding teeth for plants and fins. To survive in the wild, it takes more than good animal instincts. It also takes teeth and feet. To see what I mean, click on either teeth or feet at the top of your screen. You've chosen feet. Now drag one of these types of feet to one of the habitat cards at the bottom of the screen to see what happens. Charge ho! Hard hooves like this rhino has are built to last and meant for speedy running on hard ground. Some hoofed animals can swim for short distances, but hooves are not the ticket for swimming in the water. It looks like this poor rhino is definitely in over his head. Uh-oh. As far as this hoofed animal is concerned, living in the trees is for the birds. Life isn't ducky on hard ground for a web-footed friend like this duck. And if you ask me, she looks like a duck out of water. That poor duck is headed up a tree, but there's no way she can make it. Those flat webbed feet can't cling to the bark or branches. She's going to be in trouble if she doesn't watch out. Too late. Excellent observation. Webbed feet and water make the perfect combination for paddling through the water. Curved claws aren't the perfect design for charging fast on hard ground. As my great-aunt Millie used to say, if there's curve in your claw, you can't cha-cha-cha. That fellow's having a bear of a time staying afloat with those curved claws. I can hardly bear to look. Now that bear is up a tree quite happily. Those curved claws are custom made for climbing. Teeth it is! Drag a set of teeth to one of the food cards at the bottom of the screen and watch what happens. The perfect food for an animal with slicing teeth. But when it comes to bark and greenery, he's got the wrong teeth for the job. Poor guy. He'll never get a bite to eat here with those slicing teeth. Now that is one happy lion. His slicing teeth are custom made for chowing down on meat. Grinding teeth are perfect for chomping trees. But as for that steak with teeth like that, it's gotta go. Grinding and slicing teeth like this raccoon has make this fish a tasty treat. With teeth that grind and slice, this raccoon has it made. Teeth that let an animal like this raccoon grind and slice open up gourmet opportunities. They let them eat both plants and meat. Take one beaver with grinding teeth, put it in a world of plants and trees, and what do you get? One happy beaver. With flat, grinding teeth like that, that beaver would have to work all day and then some on a steak like that. a rule about going back into school. Click on the doors because that's what they're for.
Factorama! In this owl's opinion, the winner of the ugliest animal in the world contest is a dugong, a sea mammal who lives in the Indian and Pacific Oceans.
Going back outside from where you came? When you look at things again, they never look the same.
I did my report on my kitten, Mittens. She is a domestic cat, which means she's tame and she's a pet. But she's related to wild cats all over the world.
I've always worried about toads. Is it really true if I touch one, I'll get warts?
No way, Arnold. But you might get warthogs.
Carlos.
My mom says I sleep like an elephant seal because I'm such a deep sleeper. She could practically sit on me and I won't wake up.
Okay, guys. Which one of these is the biggest mammal in the world? A blue whale or an Asian elephant?
The elephant?
Nope, the blue whale. In fact, the biggest one ever found was 110 feet long, big enough so 8 elephants could line up on its back.
According to my research, Miss Frizzle has never taken us on an ordinary field trip.
And according to my prediction of the future, she never will.
Someday, maybe we'll go on a field trip to the wild animal park. I want to ride an elephant. Knowing Miss Frizzle, we're more likely to travel up his trunk.
Are you ready to quit? See you back on the bus another time.